heard it echo on that TV. You know, a thought occurred to me today, and just occurred to me again. There's been talk about getting a smart board,
Yeah.
or any kind of a like modern
Yeah.
display and all of that stuff. Is there money in the budget to do that?
No, remember we wanted to
I don't
add it
remember.
into the budget. Yeah.
I don't remember. And what happened? We
Didn't get in the budget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's always next year, and next year's gonna be here before you know it. 'Cause
That's
we're
all I'm
halfway
saying.
through August.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to have a modern system there.
We ready?
Yep.
Hand that down.
6:02, call the meeting to order. And we have four board members present, so we have a quorum. I would ask for any disclosures of conflicts of interest. Hearing none. We'll move to acceptance of minutes on the agenda, but there's none
Forgot to.
happens to be at this time, so we'll go to public hearings, and there are none. Unfinished business, resignation of chair, Amanda Jandro, and we have a letter of resignation in our packet. Which I assume is informational.
Yep. Just information.
Well, it's unfortunate. Amanda was a great asset to this board. And it's unfortunate she's no longer with us.
Before we move on, did you have more to say relative
No,
to
that was it.
I've been working very hard on finding a replacement to fill that chair next to you, and I found one, and he filled it out, and he was ready to come, but after the debacle that we witnessed at the last city council meeting, he says, "Why do I want to do that? I wanted to be effective and make good changes for the community that I live in and my kids are gonna grow in, and I'm very disappointed at what transpired." So he says, "I'm not submitting it as of now unless I get some resolution as to what's gonna happen." So I thought I would mention that.
Any other comments on this item? Seeing none, ordinance 1, 2, and 3 statuses.
So there is a memo. There is a memo in your packet, yeah, that just let the planning board know that ordinances 1, 2, and 3 were approved at the last city council meeting. All three ordinances were related to land use ordinances in Caribou. That was the anti-blight, anti-nuisance, and cannabis.
There were concerns raised about personal identification in writing of the complainant, and I think we were right on the verge of making that amendment, and the council decided, well, let's just get this passed as is, right? Am I
No,
remembering right?
they made that adjustment to
Did they?
that.
They
Yeah,
did.
because remember,
don't remember.
planning board member Mr. Corvo was there and explained to them that, you know, that wasn't their intent to have that in
What was the
there.
change that was mentioned, and Jody said, no, let's just pass this, and we'll come back and fix it later?
I think that was in ordinance 3,
Okay.
Yeah.
not anything to do with 1 or
I
2.
apologize
1
for
and
mixing
2,
that up.
those were made, I had put them in the packet
Okay.
as feedback that I had
Okay.
received after everything was noticed, and we had, as citizens saw copies of ordinance 1 and ordinance 2, those were the comments that I had, so I put it in the packet.
My apologies.
No, it's okay.
I gotta ask, when it left this room, the complainant's name, address, phone number, pictures of your kids, was never brought to the forefront. How did that get added in there?
So the one meeting I didn't come to was in March, and I think that's when you had like the public hearing for that. I didn't come to that meeting because I went to Presque Isle to the chamber dinner, because we had people in Caribou that were being honored. So I don't know. I took it right from what was in the packet in March. So I really don't know. I don't know if it was something, because didn't NMDC work on that? And so I'm not
It's been
sure
so
if that,
long, I honestly
it
can't
has
remember.
been so long. And so I don't know. I just used what I had. It wasn't anything that I worked on. The only thing I did was tweak it so that it was in the right format.
Right. I know Steve and I worked on that
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
and there was never, the thought never even crossed our mind.
Yeah.
Because it's just not good business practice to do that.
And we don't do that now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because our society's changed some, and
yeah.
retribution and being vindictive is a new norm.
That is unfortunately the case, isn't it?
Yep.
I have a question on ordinance 3. Has the Richardson Remedies submitted for their application for the dispensary?
I have not seen one. If
And
one
would
has
you
come
see it,
in.
or is it a direct application to the state?
No, it would have to come here.
Because you have to sign off on it.
Well, if they're going to be registered as a dispensary, the city's rules for dispensary would include a public hearing, inspections by the chief of police, the fire chief, and the code enforcement officer.
Prior to the state issuing.
Prior to all of that.
And public
Actually,
hearing.
we do the inspections before you'd have the public hearing.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. I wasn't sure what the process was
Yeah.
going forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else on that, we'll move to new business, and that's Irving Farms Site Design Review for a solar project. Begins on page 5, actually 6. Penny, you want to walk us through this?
Sure. So we have, starting on page 5, a site design review application by Irving Farms. They would like to put in a solar farm on a piece of land. And they have in here the things that are requested. They have a copy of this application, they have the deed, they have all the information about the solar farm, the map and lot number here. I could have provided you a map, which I didn't do. They do have experience in this kind of thing, as they are investors in the Nordic Sun Power. So it's something that they've been through before. They're working with an organization that has experience in this. So it's, I mean, there's really no real issues here. I mean, it's close to another solar farm, which is down, near it's in the RC2 district, near their potato house, which is on the Buck Road near the intersection of Route 1.
This might be outside of RC2.
Yeah, when I
R3.
said that, I said, that only goes back so far, so it may
Yeah.
actually not be in RC2. It might be in the R3.
Is it 250 feet maybe?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, so it could be.
But it doesn't make a difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference. I'm just saying, like, it's in a commercial, like, something that we've targeted for commercial development. The RC2 is something that's been targeted for development there. But this, like Steve said, the RC2 district, we have a lot of lots that part of them are in the RC2 and part of them are not. And as a person who's had to work in assessing, that creates a lot of issues when you're trying to do tax commitment. But we do it, and we don't complain. But I don't know whose idea that was. And I think actually the way it goes now with establishing districts, that you have to have the whole lot in there. But yeah. So if the planning board feels that everything is in order, we can move on to a public hearing for the next meeting that we have.
We have to review
Like criteria.
the criteria on page 9.
Yep.
So everybody on that page, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
So name and address of the owner of record and applicant? You see that?
Yep, I mean, that's on the application, and I believe they have it on the, like, page 18, where you have the beginning of their documentation for the project.
Okay. Name of proposed developments and location.
So they're just calling it, they're just using their same name, Irving Farms, and they do have a location, street address, map and lot. Yeah, they do have the zone as R3. It's also on page 18 here, also.
Yep. Name and addresses of all property owners within 500 feet of the property.
So that's typically something we just do in the office. Because that's who we have to send out notices of the public hearing.
A copy of the deed to the property, option to purchase the property or other. They have a copy of that.
Yep, they have that in here. That starts on page 13.
Name and addresses of all consultants working on the project.
So who they've indicated as
It's on the
working-
plans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have Blackstone Land Surveying, who's also been a consultant on the plan.
Complete set of plans.
Yep, we have those starting on page 18.
Plans show the following: graphic scale and arrow, north arrow.
21.
Yep, number 20, you see location and dimension of any existing or proposed easements and copies of existing covenants or deed restrictions. Any of that applicable?
I don't believe so. Looking at the deed, there doesn't seem to be any easements or anything on there that they would need to draw on. Yeah, that would be.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any public utilities out there, other than electrical.
Right.
Yeah.
Name, registration number, and seal of the land surveyor, that's Blackstone, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing maybe we don't have in here. We certainly can get that.
It's identified but not.
Yeah, he's identified, but it's not,
Yeah.
we don't have that.
All property boundaries, land areas, zoning, designations of the site, regardless of whether all or part is being developed at this time. Property boundary, zoning, designations. That's the boundaries of their whole property? Or is
Yeah, I did not print a map, and the one was not included of the whole parcel in here. But again, it's something I can put on my list for when we go to the final review.
that- Okay, so we're down to E, I believe. Size, shape, and location of existing and proposed buildings on the site, including dimension of the building, setbacks from property lines. Not buildings, is it?
Well, there is an
There is-
existing
there a-
potato house on here, that's on page 21.
An existing one, right?
Yeah, existing one.
Storage.
But the project is all panels, not.
Correct,
There's,
yeah.
there's not even a little control building, really. I believe.
Then you have a control panel, firelight.
Yeah, that's what I think, that's it.
Everything's automated.
Yeah.
You can get your readings off your phone now.
Access for emergency vehicles, location, layout, design of vehicular parking, circulation areas, loading areas, walkways including curb cuts, driveways, parking space, vehicle turnaround.
I don't think that applies.
No?
I mean, on 21, we have the different driveways and things like that, but, I mean, there's no sidewalks or anything like that out there.
There is a curb cut.
But it's existing. I mean, those are existing curb cuts there.
So we go down to G, location and names of streets, right-of-ways within 200 feet and adjacent to the proposed development.
It just says Buck Road.
So that's sufficient.
Mhm.
Proposed finished grades, graphic arrows indicating the direction of storm water runoff.
I don't think it applies because I don't think they're changing the,
Oh, they're not,
I don't believe they're changing topography.
and they're not increasing runoff with impervious
No.
installations. All right. Conceptual treatment of on and off-site storm drain, stormwater management facilities. Not applicable, right? Location and sizes of existing and proposed sewer and water services, including connections.
Not applicable.
Conceptual treatment of landscaping buffers, screens, and plantings. We don't have a requirement. They do have for some solar, some communities, that's
Mhm.
one thing they've done,
Or Scott did it.
which is not a bad idea to think about. I mean, for this project, probably not critical.
Right.
I'm just thinking for the future of other solar. Location of outdoor storage areas, fences, signage, and accessory structures. So this is a fenced project, right?
Correct.
Does it indicate that on one of the pages? Page 21, is that a fence? Designated?
Yeah, it looks like it's fenced.
I didn't bring down my little spyglass to be able to read that, but,
You should
I
talk
got-
to that, you know.
oh, yeah.
Do
no.
that all the time.
Any
Yeah.
idea if there's signage? I mean, sometimes solar projects
Yeah, have a
signs.
sign, yeah, that I don't know.
Are they required to, or that's just owner preference?
That I don't know. I don't think we would require someone to have a sign, except maybe keep out.
I don't think at the municipal level they require it. I mean, I
I just
think, it-
wonder if, yeah, one of the partners or one of the.
yeah, that would make
If they got
sense,
a
but,
grant from. the
yeah, if
state.
you had the USDA or,
Right.
you know, Department of Energy or whatever,
Mhm,
yeah,
yeah.
they may require one.
Right, exactly. A lot of grant funding requires that you give credit for,
Right.
yeah.
Down to N, context map illustrating the area surrounding the site which will be affected by the proposal, including the rest of that language there. I won't read. Yeah, so it shows where it's going to be built
Mhm.
in conjunction with the Buck
And if there's
Road
lights, yeah, and if it's required for them to have lighting or something in
Yeah.
there.
So that's okay. Down to N, all proposed signage and exterior lighting, including the location, size, and wording of all signs. That might be a question for it.
Yeah, I'm writing it down just to double check.
If it's none, it's none. But it's one of the things we need to know. Just a question. So any other discussion about the concept plan. That's all we have to do tonight, right?
Yep, and then I can get everything ready for a public hearing at the next meeting.
We need a motion.
Yes, please.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave,
Second?
second by Steve. Any discussion? Hearing none. We'll vote. Steve?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, and I vote yes. So the motion to approve the proposed project for public hearing has passed. All right, so we're down to city council liaison report. That'll be you, Dan.
Nothing really new to report. You all know that I voted against that ordinance 3. I continue to believe that it violates state and local ordinances and our charter. And that's all been aired and considered, and the council passed it anyway. So, my plan is to bring it up at the next meeting and ask to resume the vote, repeat the violations and how it's invalid action by the council, and see if they'll bite and come to their senses and rescind that. That's about all I can do.
Yep.
Now, I have a question for you, if I might. Since we now have a de facto planning board that sits as city council also, what's the value of me sitting here? I feel powerless and useless.
Yeah, I understand that. And I don't blame you. I think the action was a total insult to the planning board, in my opinion. Having served on the planning board myself, I understand the importance of the work and the authorities that are vested in the planning board, separate and outside of the authorities of the council, and the council does not understand that or does not care. So all I can say is I totally sympathize and empathize with your view on that.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm sitting on the fence. I'm still
Yeah.
not convinced that me being here has merit.
Well, I can say, I mean, understanding the role of the planning board, I value your contributions immensely. I mean, the future of the city rests on the decisions the planning board makes. And to think that the council would then run their own planning board is just unthinkable to me. I've never heard of anything as egregious as that. But I have one voice and one vote. And there were two votes against the ordinance.
I'd like to know how my fellow members feel. Any of you share the sentiments that I've just expressed?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you as well. We put a lot of time and effort to learn the planning board process, and we take our work seriously, and spend time looking over things, trying to promote the community and support business becoming established. And we make recommendations to the city council for them to just not respect those recommendations after we do thorough work and workshop and multiple meetings. And
I think we put in as much time as they do, if not more, with the auxiliary meeting, the workshops that we have, the comp plan. You're right, we spend a considerable amount of volunteer time. Steve?
Yeah, I don't support circumventing our procedure. Being that, you know, we all have the city ordinance to work through, and the ordinance actually lists out the procedures of how these things can move forward. And for the council to just bypass the actions of the planning board is violating our ordinance. So,
I feel like we're an independent board. We are appointed by the city council. That is true. We're not elected. But we are appointed to this board, and I feel like we've all taken it seriously. And we make the decisions based on what the rules are, what the ordinances are. Maybe we don't agree with what the ordinances are, but we
follow.
rule with that into consideration.
yep.
I guess the 700-pound gorilla in the room, when I read the chairman's resignation, I thought about resigning too. Because I was pretty frustrated. But that would be an easy way out, I thought, for myself. So, and it would leave the city in a lurch, because now we're down to barely a quorum. Because the taxpayers expect business out of the planning board,
Agreed.
right? Stuff needs to keep happening. So, that's why I'm here. I am frustrated.
What would happen if tonight we all tell you they rescind or we all resign?
Well, I hope that you wouldn't say that, I guess, number one. I would have to ask MMA, like, what do you do when you have, a mass resignation? I mean,
The possibility
like
is
Mr.
here.
Hitchcock just said, we only have 4 members at this time, and it's been hard to recruit people. And there are people who come on the planning board and realize how much work it is and realize how technical it is. I mean, and say, whoa, this isn't what I thought it was. This is, takes a lot of time to research all these things and do all the necessary behind the scenes work to come to a meeting. Like, there's a lot that you have to do before you even come to a meeting to get ready to have a discussion about things. And that's what we've heard from people on the planning board that either resign or don't come back, is because it is a lot of work, and it's a serious commitment. When Mr. Murchison worked here, he called it the hardest working board in the city. I mean, for a reason. I mean, he could see how much time everyone puts into this. So it's not for everyone to serve on the planning board. And every person that's on our board, I say all the time that we're very fortunate because we have such depth of experience from people on this board. And everyone has, different skills to bring to it. And you're always able to talk about things, and even if you do disagree, you respectfully disagree, because you're coming at it with a different knowledge base than someone else, and at the end of the day you're able to take all those pieces that everyone brings
And
and resolve the issue. And so it's not easy to get people to want to put in that amount of work to be on the planning board, because it's a lot of very technical work.
Councilor Bagley.
Yes.
If-
Mr. Corby.
If I'm just throwing this out there for the sake of discussion, but there's some serious overtones to it. If we were to give the council an option to rescind, they're wrong. Or else we all resign en masse.
It's that part I don't like.
Mhm.
Well, maybe.
I wouldn't threaten.
Well, how?
If we as a board.
I don't think they would care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being
That
blunt.
would just get their back up. That
Mhm.
We're not gonna be
Yeah, but-
forced into a corner.
But we stop the functions of the city.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
do.
I wouldn't threaten that.
You wouldn't?
I would, if you believe that the current city council does not respect the role that we as individuals or as a group performs, then resign. Whether we do that individually or, I would not threaten you do this or.
They're too nice.
I think we have stuff in the, in the works, and we're making progress on some of the projects we've been working on. And I think we need to at least keep the four of us here so that we can continue with the comp plan, the other zoning changes that
We're
we're.
gonna be holding up grants, we're gonna be holding, I mean,
That's
we
right,
don't,
yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we-
whether it's the
we
four
need
of
to
us,
stay.
but there's gonna be at least four of
Four,
us.
right, four people.
Well, I'm really-
So
I'm
you
really-
gotta weigh that.
Huh?
The- So what Steve's saying, you gotta weigh the detriment of our resignation to the city, outside of the politics
Mhm.
of, being frustrated with it.
But if you suddenly wake up some morning being a counselor and you say, holy crap, that's gonna put a wrench in the works big time. Maybe we should rethink. I don't know,
Based on the current makeup of the council, I don't think it's gonna matter.
No.
I mean, maybe I'm a little sour on this deal, but judging by their past rulings,
see, I'm like Dan. Well, Dan said
I'm
it.
sorry, Dan, I'm lump you in with it, but but do you
Notice I'm not
see, do
disagreeing.
you see where I'm coming from, though?
Yeah.
You're right. The last 2-3 boards have been phenomenal. When you were serving as chair, we had a very good working relationship. That planning board was second to none in the state. This particular board, we're missing our former chairperson, but she was phenomenal. She
Mhm.
knew her stuff, and we all feed off of that.
Mhm.
I mean, look at well, you
And
said
the
it. Look at
experience, yeah, yeah,
you got.
yeah, that's right,
That's worth something.
yeah. But it is a lot of work, and it's a big commitment for people to put that much time into a volunteer board.
Would it be worth asking Dan to go into executive session and saying, the planning board has some issues with the way business has been conducted? Are you willing, Dan, to put forth saying, would you consider undoing it and doing it the right way? I know you would. I don't know why I'm asking you, but.
Yeah, I
But
would
you have to
do-
have reasons to go to.
I was gonna say, I don't know that that's executive session
Yeah,
material,
I
but,
don't think so.
And in my view, the arguments have been made, very strong arguments, and very strong opinions from our attorney, who a lot of times doesn't give a strong opinion. A lot of times he says, well, you could do this, or you could do that, or you have to decide, right? That's what Rick style is at. But his advice to us is very, very clear, and it was very detailed. It didn't make a difference. The communications from the planning board to the council about how wrong it was to bypass them went unheeded. I honestly don't think any such thing would make a difference. I'll echo what Eric said. I don't think it would make a difference. Now, and I'll say in terms of, from a personal perspective, I certainly understand where you're all coming from, and this urge to send a message through a resignation, for example. Totally understandable, and I wouldn't blame anybody if they did that. That's what I told Amanda. I said, I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't blame you. Really sorry to see you go. It would be the same thought. That's all I can say about it. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope you consider staying, but I certainly understand if you didn't want to. That's about the most I can say about it.
but like Mr. Hitchcock said, that's the easy way to do it. The harder thing is to stay and fight for these projects and fight for progress. Caribou has a lot of great things going on, and I think we're kind of at the cusp of having even more great things coming on.
That's why I'm running again.
Yeah.
It's been a hard 3 years, and I ask myself, like you all are asking right now,
Why?
I've got better, I've got better things to do with my time. Why am I doing this, and why am I putting up with this frustration? But that's what motivates me. We have so many projects right on the coast, along the riverfront, the airport, the various different development things that are going on, and the list goes on. And I want to be part of it, and I want to, help with that. So
And the planning board is a big part of that.
yeah,
You know,
well, it is. It's
moving all
critical
those
to
things
it.
forward. And that's why we need good people on the planning board. That's why we need to make sure that we have a quorum so we can conduct business, because it's such a critical part in all of those things. Like you're saying, grants, but also development. And we just have so many things, and I really look for us to have big things happening, where
And councils come and go. The planning board is the long-term
Right,
stability of
right.
the city.
yeah.
And that's why the state laws are set up to give the planning boards specific authorities outside of the council, which again, the council doesn't understand this, or they don't care. And so councils will come and go. And if it's any encouragement at all, I would just urge you to consider that the council will change next year, and you'll have a different makeup. Well, you could have a different makeup depending on who runs. So,
Okay, I'm done.
Do I have to get the super glue out and super glue you to the seat, David? I can find
I'm
some.
still thinking.
Okay.
the fight is not over though.
Yeah,
on
the-
this
yeah.
particular ordinance. It's not a dead issue yet. Some people think it's done and settled, but it is not done and settled.
Item 7, staff report.
So I did receive a letter today. It says, "To the Planning Board of Caribou, I am writing this information to you for my concerns related to Richardson Remedies. I have concerns now with traffic in my neighborhood. There is traffic from citizens of Caribou, garbage trucks from Caribou Presque Isle, all bringing trash to the landfill. There is a problem with the intersection of Bog Road, Noyes Road, and Richardson Remedies driveway, all intersecting at the same place. On April 12th or 20th, not sure of the exact date, but there will be 15 to 20 cars parked on the side of the road waiting to get into this facility. I don't think the state, when they built their road, considered this much traffic. I have been almost struck by cars coming out of Richardson Remedies. Either they are poor drivers or under the influence of something. The other issues I have is the odor being transmitted in the air. The odor of marijuana is very heavy in the air on days that are overcast in winter and summer. My concern is, what does this do to my property value? When I want to sell my home, who wants a place with that odor? And if windows are open, it gets in your house in the summer. Who wants to raise their kids in that odor? Signed, a concerned neighbor." So that's one update that I have. This came this afternoon.
It's interesting. We witnessed the owner of Richardson Remedies state publicly on more than once that he's never received any complaints. I know that to be false, because I've talked to citizens who have complained, and Penny can attest that people have complained. There's another example of people complaining. So there's a lot of PR going on out there on this particular business that we have to fight against as well. But thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Penny, is it possible to have our public works with bigger stop signs, or stop sign ahead and then the stop sign? Is there things we can do traffic-wise to make sure that a serious accident doesn't occur? I think we have the power to do that.
How about some orange speed bumps? That's a little
We have that on our road.
Madawaska
It's an inside joke for people living on the Madawaska Road.
Nobody uses them.
Well, yeah, everybody.
I know, they keep going, yeah, you probably go around on our road too, because you're going out to your camp, yeah. Yeah.
They go around
So Public Works can do to.
There's a lot of that going around
Bigger
stuff, Dave.
stuff.
What's that?
There's a lot of that going around stuff, Dave.
So, also at your desk, there is, last night, the school board had, it was actually a regular meeting, but it's the lead up to the next district budget meeting. And I mean, I know this isn't really a planning board thing, but, I mean, it affects the community and you're all community members. So they will be having round 3. Their district budget meeting will be on August 20th, and that will be at the Performing Arts Center. And then on September 9th will be the budget vote, and that will be at the Wellness Center. And the polls are generally open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And our city clerks will be there. It's just one question, so folks should be able to stop and vote, or if you need to vote absentee, you can contact our clerks and they can get you an absentee ballot. For other things, for a staff report, last week, gosh, was it just last week? It seems to be a month ago. I was at the Brownfields Conference in Chicago, and so the McCormick Center, which is where this was, or McCormick Place, whatever they call it, it's huge, and there was multiple conferences going on, and one of them was a photovoltaic conference. And what was really interesting, and I didn't go to any of their sessions, but so the part of the Brownfields Conference, they have different posters about different projects over the, through the country, and where the posters was right adjacent to the exhibit hall for the solar people. And what was amazing is, so in a lot of these places in the country, they have like sheep grazing around the solar panels. Like it's kind of like a farm / solar situation.
They take care of the grass.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting. Like I had not seen that before. But there was a lot. The Brownfields Conference was really good. That's paid for through our grant that we have because, of course, EPA wants to make sure that we're doing things correctly with our grant. It's kind of a mix of different sessions on making sure your paperwork is right, but also that your project is done right, that you've got the right professionals. They have some other sessions too. I went to one on land banks because there's a lot of, I motioned to Dan because he's been involved with doing that. There's a lot of brownfields properties that ends up in land banks in different communities. So it was kind of an interesting session that I went to for that. I went to actually the last session I went to, which was on Friday morning, was the EPA and ICMA are starting a cohort of communities. I think they're willing to take 25. So naturally, we flew back on Friday night, and by Saturday I was online signing up to be in the cohort about capital stacking different funding for projects and how to get your projects funded through different funding sources. So I'm trying to get into that cohort to be able to have more money available for our different projects. So we have, and again, as Mr. Hitchcock said, part of that is the planning board, like getting permission from the planning board to take some of these underutilized properties and have them have new life with different uses. And so that's important. While I was there, I heard from my contact at Amazon, and they're planning for a ribbon cutting sometime in September, and I'll let everyone know when we get that date set. The Oktoberfest is going to be at the airport again this year, if anyone is interested in that. It's October 20th. That's sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, but they had previously had it in Mars Hill at Legacy Ranch, but they really weren't, and it's a fundraiser for them, and they really weren't making any money by having to pay for the venue, so they did a lot better last year having it at the airport. So, and that's about it.
Will the construction at the airport be done?
Yeah, in fact, so Soderberg was supposed to have the first layer of pavement down today, and then they'll have another one next week. We're anticipating it'll be open by the end of the month. So, yeah.
It looks good out there. I don't know if you've been out.
Yeah, I
They've
have
done
many
they've done a
times,
nice
yeah,
job.
yeah.
They dug, they must
Oh,
have
yeah.
6 feet.
Oh, it was
They
awful.
removed everything.
Yeah.
And replaced everything. That thing is gonna last
All new drainage,
forever.
yeah, all new drainage under there.
Was there earth movement before? Was it necessary to dig down 6 feet and remove? It's
Apparently.
all shale.
Yeah, apparently.
It wasn't loam, mud, or anything like that. There was no water.
There was, some of the drainage was damaged,
Oh.
yeah, so. That was,
But-
I think, the big reason for that. Because, you can't have water pooling and stuff there on the apron, yeah.
Did it necessitate excavating 2 acres of land?
Apparently it did. I mean, we have engineers for that. I mean, that's the thing, we partner with people who have a knowledge base that we don't possess, and we have to trust that they're doing what they know to do and design things that are more than what we can imagine, so.
So how come we respect that? No, we won't go there.
So today I met with our airport engineer, Seth Lovely, and his boss came up from Portland, and we had a good discussion about the airport and future plans at the airport, and they're very bullish on Caribou and the different
Yeah,
things
stay
we have.
tuned. The airport committee they're coming up with some really good ideas and taking some action. So there'll be some news soon.
Yeah, we had applied for and received a housing opportunity grant, and we have received 4 proposals on that to study what we have for housing in Caribou, what's needed, possible barriers, and so we have a group that is convening tomorrow to look over those proposals and make a recommendation to the council. So that's all. We have so many things. That's what I'm saying, and I said that to when I met with Stantec earlier today. We just have so many great things going on here.
Speaking of housing surveys, I wonder if I could bring something to the forefront. We have a number of abandoned houses in town. One in particular is on Park Street. It's been empty for about 5 years. The grass is about yay high.
I sent them a notice of violation.
Yeah.
I think
that's
it's
not
the
gonna
one.
do any good.
Yeah.
Can we look into instituting some type of, other communities are doing it, especially in the central Maine area. It's an abandoned house ordinance, and there's a fee involved. And I'd like to introduce that to see if we can not spur, what's the word I'm looking for? We can invigorate the homeowner or the leaseholder, put it out to bid.
Right.
And it's an escalating clause, $100 this year, $250 year 2, $500 year 3. It gets expensive.
That concept is actually integral to the land bank proposal that I'm bringing forward. It has 2 new fees, proposes 2 new fees. One for rental properties, which is, I have some issues with that, and one for like abandoned houses or unoccupied houses, where a fee like that, and that fee would help fund the land bank.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can talk more about that, and you can.
Can I ask, do we have that on our next agenda?
Specifically what you're asking to have.
Look at prototypes and models that are already in effect in communities our size to help alleviate some of that blighted issues that we have, abandoned and otherwise.
To address abandoned properties?
Yes.
Sure.
Are you willing to do some research on it?
I will.
Okay.
And I do believe the lawn has been mowed.
Oh, has it? I haven't been
Well,
on
it
Park
looks like
Street
somebody
yet.
cut the hay in the hayfield.
Okay, because I sent 4 letters just on
Bush
Park
hog.
Street.
Yeah.
4 letters on
Yeah,
Park Street.
there's a little orange riding mower parked there this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Okay.
It happened this
Well, it was
afternoon.
supposed to be, they were supposed to have it done by Monday, so maybe they're all, after this meeting, I'll have to drive on Park Street and see. There was some others, but that, I had 4 on Park Street, which was kind of crazy because that's one of our gateways into the school, you know, to have all that long grass. So.
What do you think about the new campground popping up on our street? The place right
I
across
saw
from me?
that, yeah. I
She
saw,
brought in another trailer.
I saw
I
that.
couldn't believe it.
yeah, so I don't know if she's swapping it out,
I don't
or is
think
she
so.
gonna have 2 campers there? Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not too happy about it.
Yeah, I did notice that.
And there's, oh, by the way, there's another trailer that popped up on the Westgate Road.
Okay, I haven't been on the Westgate Road.
You know, the old trailer park
Yeah.
that's all abandoned or
Mhm.
whatever. This happened in the spring or early summer. Some guy came and plopped a, it looks more like a camper than a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They've got lawn chairs set up,
Oh my
patios
gosh.
all
It's
set
a-
up. Have you
It's a
seen
squad?
it?
Yeah, they call it like a campground trailer or campground cottage or whatever. But that showed up last fall.
They're called the
Then-
park, they're called the park model.
That's it,
Because they have 110
yeah.
and 220 appliances in them.
But now they put like a
Versus
full-length
12
edition.
volt.
So
Oh,
there's
they
like
put on
it's
a-
like an
okay, I'll have to go
enclosed
up
porch
there.
addition on it.
Yeah.
Without getting too specific, there's a lot of people squatting on a lot of properties all around, not just Caribou, but all over.
I'm just curious as to whether the owner knows that somebody's set up.
I've known, over the last 2 years, well, since COVID really, a lot of campers being parked on places that haven't been mowed. And it's not just Caribou, it's all towns.
Well, I think that address, I think that's on your property list, whatever your blighted property.
Yeah.
But the more rural they are, the less
I think it is.
people are likely to
Yeah.
complain.
House is
Number.
about
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all crooked to be inside.
Yeah, I haven't been inside it.
If
Yeah.
some farmer's field that's 3,000-4,000 feet off the road, the farmer doesn't believe they're causing any damage to his land, he's apt to not bother about it.
Well, it's the same thing goes with dumps. You know? What are you gonna do? You know?
But honestly, there is no excuse for people to be dumping in Caribou. I mean,
Oh, I
you can-
get it.
I mean, it's so
I'm not trying to bring up something, I'm
inexpensive.
just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
a lot of landowners own a lot of land.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gonna know at the very back of a property down over a bank they're not going and looking for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Forest Service fights this stuff all the time. That's,
Sell your acreage
I'm
regularly.
just saying, I don't have any
No.
sympathy for someone who says, "Oh, well, I had to dump it somewhere and I can't afford."
oh,
to go to the
absolutely
dump."
not.
Because-
Especially when it's somebody else's property
Yeah.
and the landowner doesn't know.
Right, right. Number one, but I mean, you can get a dump permit for $50 for the whole year.
Now, it's the,
Where in
it's the
America
same.
can you
it's-
do that?
It's the same mentality of the people that are setting up shop everywhere else.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
They don't care.
yeah. They do not respect property rights, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Anything else under staff report?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
That's all I
Seeing
have for
none,
staff
we'll move
report.
to item 8, which is adjournment.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Eric.
Second?
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, Steve?
Yes.
Dave?
Not in favor, I want to jibber jabber some more.
Larry? Eric?
I'm in favor.
Not in favor? Majority rules?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, the council did get a copy of this letter from Rich.
Yes, and I need to collect those.
That's right. So they did get a copy?
Yes.
They did,
Okay.
and there's already email conversation.